It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Hey, Claire. Claire B. Lane. Good morning, everyone. We just left a meeting of all of our nationwide and our Sprint Cup drivers and owners, and we announced an amended substance abuse policy, and we wanted to come in here and follow up, and also the drivers and owners and crew chiefs are aware, so feel free to do whatever you want to do with them during the day. But we've got Steve O'Donnell, who is our Vice President of Racing Operations here, and Steve has been the point guy on our amended substance abuse policy. So Steve's going to run you through what the amended policy is.
Thanks, Jim. And as Jim stated, we just let the teams know where we're headed for 2009, and what we've done is we feel like we've taken a good policy and made it even better. And the way it came about was we've had a number of discussions with the other professional sports leagues, a lot of different industry experts. A number of those are in the garage, actually, and Dr. David Black and Aegis Sciences Corporations. And for those of you who don't know, we've had a relationship with Dr. Black really over the last 20 years. He founded Aegis, and Aegis right now is the largest independent sports and forensic testing laboratory in the United States. So we feel like we've always been with the right group, and we're going to continue that relationship moving forward. Some of the highlighted changes we went over with the teams this morning are as follows. Beginning with the 2009 season, we're going to institute a baseline test that'll take place for the drivers in Daytona during preseason testing. Every driver who attends the testing session will be required to submit to a substance abuse test. All those tests will be administered by an outside agency, which is Aegis, who will be on site throughout the testing session. We're also going to institute a mandatory test from the owners to all of their licensed crew members. And in order for our policy to be consistent, we're going to require that the owners have their tests certified by a SAMHSA lab. What that is a government agency, stands for Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administrative Services. So that'll be a consistent policy that we'll have with the drivers and owners. And then NASCAR will also test our officials prior to the start of the season. So that's kind of the first aspect of the program. Moving forward from there, we're going to institute random testing. That'll begin again starting in 2009. People who will be subjected to random tests are all NASCAR Cup, Nationwide, and Truck Series drivers, all over-the-wall pit crew members, and again, NASCAR officials will all be part of that program. The way the program will work is you can probably expect it to be at most, if not all, events. We'll have Aegis on site. We understand that the race schedules are pretty busy, so we'll work with the competitors and everyone in the industry to make sure we find as convenient a time as possible to administer the tests. And I think the last piece that I'd touch on is our penalties. I think no secret to anyone here in this room is that NASCAR's had one of the strictest penalties when it comes to substance abuse, and that's not going to change. It is true that a driver or anyone tested for that matter who tests positive just one time could receive a lifetime ban, but I think we're pretty on the record with 3 times as an automatic lifetime ban from the sport. I think the bottom line with the policy is, we get asked a lot of questions as to why we did this, why now, and I think that we have talked to a lot of industry experts. We think it's always incumbent upon all of us at NASCAR to think safety first, and that's the safety of our competitors and the fans, and that's why we've got this policy in place moving forward to 2009. So with that, Jim, I'll turn it back over to you.
We're going to open it up for questions. Please state your name and affiliation.
Yeah, Dave Rodman with NASCAR.com. First, a nuts and bolts question, guys, and then a follow-up to that. Besides the Cup and Nationwide drivers, was anyone else in the meeting here? And was there a similar meeting held at Las Vegas in conjunction with the Craftsman Truck Series event?
There will be a meeting, actually in a half hour, out in Las Vegas with all of the truck teams, the owners and drivers. Same thing will be presented that we've given to you here with the handout. It'll be the same deal, Dave.
All right, and as the testing program goes forward in 2009, I don't expect to be notified. How will we be notified of who is tested in a given weekend and what the results are after that, just so we can understand what we have to expect?
Yeah, no different than our policy is today. We don't notify anybody as to who's tested or if there's a negative test. The only time you'll hear us talk about a test is when we have a positive result that's been verified. So that'll be no different than our policy is today.
Monty Dutton, Gaston Gazette. I have two questions, Steve. You touched on that. First of all, if a person violates the requirements and it is verified, even if it's whether it's a driver or anybody else, will those people be publicly identified?
They will, and let me just back up really quick, Monty. The way our policy works today and will continue is that when a sample is taken, there's an A and a B sample. So before we go public with the media, we would verify that not only the A but the B sample as well was positive. Once we're assured by our medical review officer that this is indeed a positive test, we would make that public.
Oh, I think that's admirable that you verify it, because you wouldn't want to taint someone's name. And the second question is define NASCAR official. I understand overall crew members, but when you say NASCAR official, does that mean people who work the race on weekends, or does that mean everyone who works for NASCAR?
That'll be prior to the season. It'll be all of our officials who are here for the weekend. That will be part of the baseline test. So yeah, you can assume. I mean, I'll be first in line, behind Hunter.
Oh, yes. Hi, Liz Clark from the Washington Post. My handout may be missing something. I don't see a list of the substances that are banned. Can you tell us what exactly is banned and what it is you're looking for?
I love the way Liz said,
Yeah, that was
I seem
great.
to be missing something here.
Actually, you're not missing anything at all. We think we have the broadest policy in all of sports, and the reason we don't have a list is we believe that a list is restrictive. And if you've seen with a lot of other leagues, the policy is constantly changing. We know that there's new drugs out there every day. By having a broad policy that doesn't list anything, we feel like we can test for any substance that may be abused. And no different than our policy is today. I want to be clear on that. We've never had a list. It states right now in our policy that cough medicine could be abused if you're taking that too much, and it's going to affect the safety on the racetrack. So that won't change. We'll test for anything. Our experts are very familiar with prescriptions people may be taking and legitimate medications, but we will not have a list.
And the drivers, I mean, I would assume that the drivers and the people being tested would want to know, that has there been any discussion about sort of their what I would presume is an entitlement to know what they're being tested for? Nobody's raised that?
Again, well, there's a couple things here. No different again than today. Prior to the start of the season, the drivers let us know from their physicians what medications they're taking, what allergies they have, and are also required during the season to let us know of any health changes that they have. All that's communicated to our substance abuse expert. So again, we can't put a list together because anything could be abused. So we obviously have different parameters that will be involved as to what's abused, but I think no different than anyone in America who takes a prescription drug. If you take it the way the doctor ordered, things are fine. If it's abused, that'll obviously show up on a test.